My laptop for the presentation. I'm going to tell you that the reason I chose brand as the theme for my today's presentation is because that's what I do as a profession. I'm a brand analyst at a strategic brand advisory boutique firm, and we have a rather unique view of what brands are. So let the projector just hit up a little bit. And while it's doing this, let me ask you a question. When you hear a word brand, no, it will be fine. It's pretty bright. When you hear a word brand, what are the kinds of things that pop into your mind? Anyone?
Coca-Cola. Logo.
A logo, a name,
Slogan.
a slogan, perhaps a specific logo like Nike or Apple. Well, let me take you into the history of branding. The first symbols that we discovered were the symbols from the ancient Greece on the pottery, which people used to distinguish their products from the products of other potters. So there would be, a little symbol like a fish or a thumbprint to distinguish one product from another. And rivals would try to copy that symbol so that they could sell their products as good as their rivals do. The word brand comes from burning cattle. They would use this, really hot brand to put a stamp, a mark on the animals, so that sorry, I'm really nervous. So that the farmers could distinguish their animals from the animals that belong to other farmers. And with time, what they noticed is that animals that belong to the farmers that have higher reputation actually are more sought after. People would pay more money without even seeing those animals. They just trust that a cow with this brand would be perfect in terms of its quality and how it was fed, as opposed to some other cows. And while those marks really played a role during the ancient times and the Middle Ages, brands really came to life in the late 19th and the early 20th century with the Industrial Revolution. What happened then was that products stopped being produced on a mass level. So as opposed to a name of a potter around the corner, these are companies that are being represented by the brands. So some of the well-known brands today were actually born in the end of the 19th and the beginning of the 20th century, such as Coca-Cola, Sunlight, Quaker, and Kodak. And with that, the whole science of marketing, branding was born. So logos, trademarks, slogans, a whole legalization around it, the protection of the trademark. So nobody else can use the same symbol like the ancient Greek pottery used to do, so that nobody else could do this anymore. This whole system was born. So a brand isn't a logo, a brand isn't a trademark, a brand isn't a slogan. Essentially, a brand is a promise. It is a promise given by the brand, by the company, to all of its audiences. And it's a promise of the unique experience that people will have whenever and however they come into contact with the brand. And if the product or service is interesting and the brand, the company, delivers on this promise consistently over and over again, then they will win over the preference and loyalty of their customers. So a brand essentially is a business system. What you, the consumer, see, the logo, the ads, the slogan, is just the tip of the iceberg. For the brand to really exist and to really make the brand work, you need to have a whole lot of things beneath the waterline. It's your operations, it's purchasing, it's HR, who knows just exactly what kind of people to hire so that the operations, the customer service, the new product development will be to the level that you expect because of what I, the brand, promised to you. And Fortune magazine 10 years ago predicted that in the beginning of the 21st century, branding will be the only unique differentiator between companies. And if you really think about it, that is actually true. When you come into a supermarket and you see just rows and rows of the same cans, boxes, it has a lot of text on it, a lot of specifications, this much calories, this much fat, it's too much to take. We don't have time to choose. So by choosing a brand that gave you a certain promise and that won over your confidence and your trust, you can just go in the store and buy a can of soup. You don't need to know where and how they made the soup and what exactly is there. You just trust that Campbell's will deliver the soup that they promised to deliver to you. So essentially, brands are assets, just like cash, land, talent that you have, equipment. If you look at the Coca-Cola, for example, in 2003, their stock market value, which was $136 billion. However, out of those $136 billion, only this tiny slice was their actual asset value. Half of it was attributed to the value of the brand, a very intangible substance, a brand, a promise, a reputation. The other part that you see in yellow, it is attributed to the patented secrets that they have of the formula and some of the contracts that they have with the bottling company, but half of it is their brand value. Take away the brand, it's just a cola. No different than others, really. You wouldn't probably even recognize that it's any different. So a brand is more than a logo. A brand is a promise that a company gives to everyone, employees, partners, consumers, and that it keeps. And by consistently delivering on that brand, the company wins over loyal buyers, loyal consumers, who would come back over and over again, therefore securing some income for the company in the future, thus making brand a real asset like land, cash, and equipment. So a brand is not a logo, it's a business system. A bunch of Toastmasters.